Hey everybody, what's going on? Fallout here, and today we're going to do another Destiny Trials of Osiris guide, this time for Rusted Lands, which is the current Trials map for this weekend. So in my opinion, there's really only two ways to look at the map. You have A side and B side, and if you happen to spawn out here by the Bravo spawn in the water, then you are in luck because you have quicker access to this area, the B castle and the B side area of the map, which in my opinion is the power position on Trials on Rusted Lands. And the reason for that is that if you have this area, you have the stronger position because when the time expires, the control point will pop up right here, meaning that the other team has to come to you rather than you having to go to them. So if you happen to have control of the B castle and the B half of the map, you have a couple lanes which you can peek. You can peek down the B alley right here, or you can just peek through the B doorway right here. But no matter where you go, you really want to make sure that you're not going too aggressive if you have this part of the map. You really don't want to pass over onto the A side and give away your power position. Now, if you spawn on the alpha side of the map, don't worry. You can still make plenty of plays from over here. You just have to think a little bit more about how you're going to move over to the B half of the map and knock the enemy out of their power position if they're trying to play defensively over there. And you have a couple options. If you want, you can swing over towards the B alley over here, but you do have to be careful because usually a lot of people throw grenades along that wall and you have to play it kind of slow. In my opinion, if you spawn over on Alpha and you're really trying to push over to B where the other team is playing defensively, then your best option might be to swing over here to the right and take control of the C castle, and then eventually, slowly but surely, with your team, push in to the B half of the map. And you can do that by taking some pop shots through this archway right here. Or you could swing over here to the rubble area, which actually functions as a very convenient head glitch. So heavy on this game type actually spawns in this area right here in the tunnel, which is actually referred to as Suicide. And the reason that this is called the Suicide Tunnel is because there's not a lot of cover in here. You can get very congested very easily, and you can really get torn up if you're not careful. So when the heavy round happens, really make sure that if you're going to make a push for a heavy, you have to be very, very careful about it. Don't just run into the Suicide Tunnel. You'll probably get hard scoped, get your head ripped off. It's usually a good idea to try and bait the heavy on Rusted Lands Trials. Try to keep your eye on your radar, and if you notice that the enemy team is pushing through Suicide to get to the heavy, you can hit them with a ton of grenades and primary fire, or maybe you can even have one or two teammates swing around if you're quick enough to try and flank the enemy while they're concentrating on the Suicide Tunnel. Now, there's something really interesting that a lot of people don't know about Rusted Lands, but they should definitely be taking advantage of, is that there are a lot of really high points of cover that you can post up in and get really good primary shot angles from. And the good news is that they're kind of all over the map. You have one back here at the back of the B castle, which gives you a really good sight lane into the B alley and also gives you a decent look down at the bottom area by Zone C. There's one back here by the back heavy castle, which gives you a really great sight over at the Zone B territory, and the good news is if someone starts shooting you, you can just drop off right away. There's another one over here by the Zone C territory, which gives you actually a pretty decent sightline over to the back B castle. Maybe the most important one, though, is the one over here by B alley. You can get up and stand on this teeny tiny ledge of the big pipe right here, and a lot of people don't expect you to come up here, and the good news is that there's a lot of random leaves and shrubbery to actually help keep you covered while you move around and peek over to the B zone area. But again, the important thing to know with all of these really high vantage points is that you have to be really, really careful, because not only do you have a good sight on them, they probably will have a good sight on you. Okay, to sum up, Rusted Lands is a map that you can easily divide in half. One side is the Alpha side and one side is the Bravo side. The Bravo side, in my opinion, is the stronger part of the map, so you definitely want to try and get control there if that's where you spawn. Make sure that even if you're holding the power position on the map, you're playing Trials like you normally would. Communicate with your teammates, find lone enemies, push them if they're separated, keep your eyes on the bodies and make sure that the enemy team can't move in and get a free revive, and when you outnumber the enemy, make sure that you use your number advantage to push in, collapse on them, and wipe them out. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know in the comment section. I really do enjoy hearing from you guys. Also feel free to drop a like or a sub on the video. It really does help me out, and I appreciate it a whole bunch. Hope you learned something. See you next time.